So if you had a Go-Ped Sport as a kid, you probably had it with one of these engines, the G23LH, 1.2 horsepower, absolute pus bag of a motor. It has a lot of potential and they were always super reliable. And if you're anything like me, you love to milk everything you can from a slow motor to make it as fast as possible. And that's what we're doing here today. So here's our finished ported G23LH cylinder. Now this is set up for a cylinder read. We have the boost port cut here. This time around in version 2, I've gone to a single boost port over the double that I was running on the version 1. That's mostly because I want to see if this improves the ring wear. And we have the same transfers except we've increased the transfer duration. Exhaust port is a little bit bigger. I really took it as far as I could this time round, and we've also increased the exhaust duration. And intake port has been dropped through the floor, and the intake has been matched to the reed adapter. That's one thing that you really need to pay attention to in these when you're using the area RC cylinder reed, is to make sure that that's matched perfectly. Otherwise the reed pedals will actually open in this space, and if it doesn't match, then you're going to end up chipping your reed pedals. Another change that we've made over the version 1 was we've changed to a 2mm stroke, and I've put a 5mm long rod on there. We've also lightened the piston significantly, and that's sort of to offset some of the weight from the rod. And I think we can also probably lighten the rod, but that's going to be for version 3. Otherwise the bottom end is the same. So I got the engine on last night, carburetor's sorted. I forgot to film some of that stuff, so sorry about that, guys. But I decided to run with the external pulsing as the crankcase was already set up for it. And this carb that I'm using also had the base plate tapped. So no brainer there. One thing I should say about these area RC reeds, or if you're using the DGI reed, is that they have two bolt patterns on the front here, but only one of them is correct. The other one's 31.8 millimeters when it should be 31. So if you can't bolt your carb up, then that's probably why. Now you could probably drill out your carburetor to give you a bit more space, and obviously drill out your V-stack as well if you really wanted to run it in the other orientation, but this way seems to work well. You'll also need a spacer in there for the throttle arm to clear the reed body. So you can see we need a little bit of clearance there. One other thing we got to do this morning is we got to get a new tire on. This tire is pretty worn, and you can see when they get a bit worn out, they tend to give the rim a hard time when you're bumping up and down driveways and footpaths, etc. We'll get the spindle and third bearing on, air filter on, throttle cable sorted, put the pipe on. We're going to run the 80AS1. That's what I've used before, and in the future I'll have another pipe for it, but we'll see how it runs with that. Let's go. So I've got a few dents in this wheel. I'm just going to try and paint some of these down. It's just from bumping up driveways and curbs, so see if I can tidy it up a little bit with the hammer and see how it comes out. So I've managed to flatten some of them off, but I think I'm going to strip the tire off and then just flatten in that last part. So this is how I get an old tire off. You've got to muscle the tire off, but once you've done a couple, it gets easier. So I know people like to cut them, but when you've got a beadlock ring on there, it's a little bit harder. So I usually just muscle them off with my hands, and it takes a little bit of work, but the tire comes off clean. So with the tire off, I was able to just hammer that just a little bit nicer with a dolly supporting that lip, and then a little bit of sandpaper. And it's not perfect, there's still some imperfections there, but it's not a show ped, so this will be pretty good. And so this one's still pretty beat up. I did hammer it a little bit, but it really needs to be run through the layers, so I'll maybe take 0.1 or 2 off that face. But in the meantime, I have a brand new one, so we'll stick that one on. Now it's time to get the tire on. We're going to apply this glue. So Loctite 480 is what I've been using, and this stuff is no joke. It's specifically designed for gluing aluminium to rubber. So guys, we have the rated LH out on the testing grounds. I'm going to test out all the changes that we've made. So we still got the same pipe, the 80S1, we got the same 710 spindle, same air filter, carburetor, reed. I did change the reed pedals to 0.25 instead of 0.3 pedals. We also have a 2mm crank in there now with a long rod. Lightweight piston, some new porting. So we're going to try this out, see how it runs. I've already had a little blast around on it, and I can already tell that it has more horsepower. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can match the RPM that we got before, which was like 19.3 something, I think, from memory. So if we can match that or beat it, then we're doing pretty well. I also bought another pipe to try, because I kind of feel like the 88S1 pipe doesn't really like the exhaust duration that I've got on this motor now. It seemed to work pretty well before, but we've increased that a fair amount, so we're going to see how that goes today.
Yeah, the speed goes.
Alright, we're going to swap this pipe. This is the one we're going to try. This is the one off the Bigfoot with the internal baffle cone design. We're going to see how this one rips on this engine. So, let's get it on there. There it is. She's on. Alright, we've got the pipe on. Sits on a little bit of a funny angle on here. The bracket's a little bit lower on the Sport, and the exhaust port's in a different place on the L8 cylinder. But I'm mostly just looking forward to the results and seeing what we get out of it. See if we can beat 18,800 RPM on the 88 S1 pipe, and it's gonna make some noise. So we managed a quick little run with the cart style pipe on there. 18,680 RPM, so we lost about 120 RPM. Honestly though, the power band is so smooth from the bottom all the way through the rev range. It's really quite fun to ride. Very predictable power, which is cool. But I really want the RPM. I need to be clicking over 19,000 RPM. So I'm considering taking a bit more out of the high jet. It gets a little bit risky, right? When you're flat tack and you want a little bit more. So let's try it. So I went to take another hoon on that after taking a little bit out the high jet, and it won't accelerate out the bottom. Now on that last speed run before that, it did bog down a little bit just for a split second at high speed, whether it sucked some air into the fuel line or something else, or maybe I broke in a reed pedal. So that's just how it goes sometimes. You build them, you ride them, you break them, fix them. So we're gonna take this thing home and see what the issue is. The saga continues.